Introducing Tower 1, the only food farm you will ever need. It provides a seemingly endless amount of wheat, potatoes, carrots, and even beetroot. It runs fully automatically, as it employs villagers to do all of the planting and harvesting, and uses Allays to collect all of the items. Each layer produces about 800 to 1300 items per hour, depending on the crop layout that you choose. Each level can farm all 4 crops, or you can dedicate certain levels to a specific or select few crops to reduce the amount of Allays needed per floor. On each level, you will need 1 Allay for every crop growing there. You can also add in extra Allays to collect the wheat and beetroot seeds if desired, and it works on both Java and Bedrock Edition. It should take about 10 minutes to build once you have the necessary materials.
Wowee, this farm is awesome. How do I build one of these?
How did you get in here?
Well, I was watching you from your window, and the window was open, so I just jumped through it.
You really shouldn't do that, but I mean, yeah, since you're here, let's build it. To start off, let's find a nice open area and clear out the trees. Now go ahead and choose a block somewhere in the middle, and from there, excluding the central block, we're going to count 18 blocks in each direction. And on the 18th block, go ahead and dig a hole and add a water source for all 4 sides. Now head back to the center of the farm and count 9 blocks away in all directions, including diagonals, and replace the 9th block with water. Now you should have 12 water sources down, like so. You'll know you've done it right if every water source has an 8-block gap in between them. Now head back over to the middle with the items displayed in my hotbar. Dig down 3 in the center and make a small 3x3 by 2 high room. This will be a very small collection area. Place 2 chests down with 1 hopper going into it and a trapdoor off the other side. And then we'll place down a temporary fence, temporary rail, and we can open up the trapdoor and push the hopper minecart into it. Then we can break out those temporary blocks, add in another hopper, break the fence, and make your way back up to the surface. Or you can place a skulk sensor just above the hopper in the central block of the farm. Now switch out your hotbar, waterlog the skulk sensor, add a temporary block, temporary rail, push the minecart into the skulk sensor, and then we're going to add the note block, and we're going to push it into the hopper minecart using a piston and lever. We'll put another temporary block atop of the note block and add trapdoors all the way around. And break out that temporary block. And that's the collection system done. But it can be easily expanded or upgraded to an automatic sorting system. I won't show how to make an automatic sorting system in this video, but there are many other great tutorials on how to make them on YouTube. The next step here is to add the walls for the farm. So what we're going to do is come over to the outer water sources. Anyone will do. Just go ahead and start adding in 2 high glass walls all around the outside. And just slowly but surely connect up all of the outside water sources. Here's an aerial representation of where you should place your 2 high walls. Now let's place down the villager huts. You just need 4 composters and the rest of your trapdoors. These will prevent the villagers from using the composters, but allows them to remain as farmer villagers. To build one of these, all you need to do is place a composter above one of the 4 exposed water sources, place a temporary block above that, and place trapdoors all around that temporary block. And then remove it. Now we can start bringing the villagers in. It's best to use what I would call a clean villager, one that isn't holding any items, because if it is, then it doesn't work nearly as efficiently. You can get a clean villager from a villager breeder, or you could see what a villager is holding by using this command. To easily get the villagers in, you just gotta bring a jobless villager up to the wall, place a grass block down, and he should be able to see the composter on the other side and hop right over. And just rinse and repeat that for all 4 villagers. Now that we have our 4 villagers in here, let's make the filler for our villagers so they can't pick up the crops of other villagers or too much of their own crops. You'll need 28 named seeds per layer. Spread them out into groups of 4. If you did plan on doing multiple layers, you could name entire stacks of seeds so you didn't have to name new ones every time you built a new layer. So anyway, go ahead and name each stack of 4 seeds something unique. I went ahead and named them seed 1 through 7. Go ahead and set those seeds off to the side for the moment. And here's where we're going to make our final decision about what each of our villagers are farming. You will need 3 stacks of the plantable item for what you want them to farm. We're doing 4 different crops in this farm, but you could mix and match however you choose. So we'll need 3 stacks of carrots, 3 stacks of potatoes, 3 stacks of beetroot seeds, and 3 stacks of wheat seeds. So now, we're going to go up to every one of these villagers and give them in their first inventory slot the thing we would like them to farm. So let's say we'd like this guy to be our carrot farmer. We'd give him 1 stack of carrots. And now we just have to go back through and give them 1 of each one of these named filler blocks. So now we will see this guy won't be able to pick up any other items. So let's say we had regular wheat seeds. This guy won't be able to pick them up anymore. So now all of these guys can't pick up stuff that isn't theirs. Now what you'll want to do is till up everything, and while you're tilling, fill up the areas with the rest of the crops you have. Make sure you're planting the same crop as the nearest villager. Probably important to note as well, You do not want to till the immediate area around the composter on Bedrock Edition. On Java, there's no problem with it. But on Bedrock, the villagers have a really hard time planting and harvesting the crops under there. Also, on Bedrock, you will need 1 bed per villager. You can just place it on the outside of the farm here, so 4 beds total per layer. Once you're done planting and tilling all the areas, if you have any extra seeds left over after planting, just make sure to give that back to the farmer of the area, just so that it replenishes their stock. Now you just need to bring in the Allays. They can be found in woodland mansions or pillager outposts. You will need 1 Allay for every crop. We have 4 crops here, so we'll need 4 Allays. And if you want to collect wheat seeds or beetroot seeds, you will need an extra Allay per seed type. So we've got our 4 Allays here, and now we're just going to give them 1 of each item. Potato, wheat, beetroot, and carrot. And then we can set them free here from their little lead shackles. Bring them over to this note block so that they get attracted to that instead of you. And now this layer is pretty much set up. You have these 4 Allays that will wander around, and any time one of these villagers harvest one of their crops and the crops fall on the floor, one of the Allays will fly over, like this guy does, and throw it into the collection system, and it will go down right into this chest here. Now the only thing left to do for this layer is to make a tunnel to actually get to the collection system. So go ahead and dig down 3, and then anytime water's above your head, just put a trapdoor on the lower half of the block so that the water doesn't flow into your tunnel. And then that'll lead all the way over to the chest. Did I just see a sheep? Perry, what are you doing in here? Were you trying to steal my food? Go on, you dirty dog, get out of here. Ah, whatever. I think I'll just leave Perry down there to think about his actions. Now, if you are going to stack layers on top of each other, you need a lighting layout similar to this. So on top of the composters, you can put some sort of light block, and then 2 diagonal away from the note block on the ceiling, you can put a lantern. And that'll provide enough light for all of the farm, assuming that you have glass walls on the outside. For every layer, you will also need to push a hopper minecart into the trapdoors above the note block. Otherwise, the hopper chain gets broken. So how much can this tower produce? Assuming you built as high as possible, you could fit 125 floors per tower. Per layer, there is 608 farmable tiles, each with an approximation of 1.4 growth cycles per hour per tile. That would mean that there is an average of 851.2 crops reaching maturity per layer per hour, meaning that across the entire farm, there is over 100,000 harvestable crops every hour. All in all, if you had a tower dedicated to every crop, accounting for replacement costs, you could expect over 212,800 beetroot per hour, over 100,000 beetroot seeds, 160,600 potato or carrots per hour, or over 106,400 average wheat per hour with 50,000 average wheat seeds per hour. If you could build this tower in real life, you could produce enough food to feed well over 2.5 million people. That's like feeding the entire country of Botswana. This tower is a true mega structure, almost as big as the mega project I've taken on by making this video. I've spent 70 hours just editing. If you've enjoyed the video, give a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for your time, and goodbye.